Hi, I'm Gina with the Clark-Esposito law firm PC. In this video, I'm going to take you through some of the possible penalties that you could be facing if you aren't careful when dealing with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, or any other government agency which enforces wildlife trade laws. Let's get into the video. It's important to note that there are many government agencies that work to enforce these laws. So you could be facing the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service along with U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the U.S. Forest Service, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Animal Plant Health Inspection Service, otherwise known as APHIS. Everyone is bound by wildlife trade laws, whether you're aware of them or not. This includes importers and exporters of any size, along with individuals. Many wildlife trade law issues include violations of the Lacey Act of 1900 or the Endangered Species Act of 1973. So today we will look at the possible penalties for violations of each of these acts. Let's take a look at the Lacey Act, which is the U.S.'s oldest wildlife protection statute and was designed to protect against illegal wildlife trafficking. Any person who engages in conduct prohibited by the Lacey Act, who, if they were exercising due care, should have known that fish, wildlife, or plants were taken, possessed, transported, or sold in violation of the Act, could be subject to up to $10,000 in civil penalties. This same scenario could also incur criminal penalties of up to $10,000, 1 year in jail, or both. Any person who knowingly imports or exports any fish, wildlife, or plants in violation of the Act or engages in conduct that involves either sales or purchases or offers of sales or purchase could be subject to criminal penalties of up to $20,000, 5 years in jail, or both. Now let's take a look at the penalties for violations of the Endangered Species Act, which establishes protections for threatened or endangered species. Any person engaged in business as an importer or exporter of fish, wildlife, or plants who knowingly violates any provision of this act could be subject to civil penalties of up to $25,000 for each violation. Any importer or exporter who violates any provision of any other regulation that has been issued under the Act could face civil penalties of up to $12,000 for each violation. Any person who knowingly violates any provision of the Act could incur criminal penalties of up to $50,000, 1 year in jail, or both. Any person who violates any provision of any other regulation under the Act could be subject to penalties of up to $25,000, 6 months in jail, or both. There are a few other things to note about violations of these acts. Each violation is a separate offense, so each violation of these acts could be incurring penalties. Additionally, any vehicles, vessels, aircraft, or other equipment used to commit any violation could also be subject to seizure. Now, these are just some of the possible penalties which you could be facing. This is not a comprehensive list of all penalties from these agencies. You could be facing even more penalties and higher stakes. Listen, I get it. Dealing with a seizure or the threat of one can be stressful. Navigating the waters of your ordeal without the help of a trusted advisor will be very difficult to manage. And attempting to do this yourself could potentially result in unnecessarily losing more money and even your freedom. At the Clark-Esposito Law Firm PC, we are determined to help you. So give our office a call today at 917-546-6997 or email us at contact@clarkespositolaw.com and we can help guide you through this.
Subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll be the first to know when we upload a new video. Check out our playlist if you want to see more of our videos, and comment below and introduce yourself. We'll see you soon.